it's a big transition. You have to wake up a lot earlier.
Yeah.
You have to answer more questions and make more decisions. As a writer, you kind of get to sit in your house and just sit and write on the computer. But when you're directing, it's like running a giant corporation where nobody can make a decision unless you've kind of approved it. And it's a lot of work. Like I would come home at the end of the day and not be able to really talk much to my fiance because I was incapable of answering another question, you know, because I'd answered so many.
Yeah.
She almost left me. It's just all like the first day, our second day of shooting, I had a girl naked in a shower with shaving cream over her pubic region. And that was day 2 of directing my first movie with Al Pacino. I've got Al Pacino in one room. I've got this girl, they're calling me in. I remember it was day 2. And they're like, Dan, we need you to look at the foam and make sure you're happy with the amount of foam covering her vagina. And I went, can I say vagina on college television?
Sure.
All right. And I had to go into, I just went, I remember going outside the shower and saying to the actress, I said, Katerina, I have to come in and check your foam. I'm sorry, this is incredibly uncomfortable. I'm just going to do it. And then I just kind of broke the seal with that, and then I was able to kind of direct normally. And at a certain point, you just go, all right, I'm doing this now. I'm in it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to adjust and make it happen. The good news is you spend a lot of time with Al when you're making a movie, and so by the time you're actually directing him, you've actually done all the work, and now it's a matter of executing the plan. And so it's not like you're showing up on day 1 nervous. Chris Plummer, actually, I never met until his day 1 of shooting. We talked on the phone a bit, and then he showed up on day 1. And so that was actually one of the most intimidating days, was making sure, I wanted to make sure he thought I knew what I was doing. I'd written the movie Crazy Stupid Love, and I was procrastinating. I was in front of the computer, I couldn't figure out what to write next, and I did the internet. I was like going on the internet. I did the internet. I sound like a 90-year-old man. And I go on the internet, and I come across this story of John Lennon having delivered, a musician having received a letter from John Lennon 40 years after it was written. And right away I knew that was it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I bought the rights to that letter, the story of that letter happening to that guy, and I started writing the script. I just immediately kind of knew what I wanted to do. When I was a kid, I used to be obsessed with Star Wars. And I would always ask my mom if Darth Vader thought he was a bad guy, or did he just think the dark side was the good side? And I became obsessed with that as a little kid. The thought being, I don't think any of us intentionally wake up in the morning going, I'm going to be a dick today. I'm going to be the worst version of myself. I think we all wake up saying, I'm going to be better today. I'm going to be a better student. I'm going to be better at my job. I'm going to be a better husband or boyfriend or wife or daughter or father or mother. And usually because we're human, we fail. We don't get as far as we'd like. It's what New Year's resolutions are for. But then the next day we start over. And I thought for this movie, it's a kind of story about that struggle put to cinema, which is the struggle of one guy, a failed man, getting a second chance and trying to be a better version of himself and then continually failing because he doesn't have the tools until the very end of the movie where you see that maybe there's a glimmer of hope for this guy to at some point become a fully formed human being. Well, it's really hard. I mean, it's a very hard business, and what I always tell people your age is I say, if there's something you like, admiring film's great, writing films, directing your own films, like everybody should do it who has interest in it. To do it as a profession is a second level. And to do it as a profession, I always kind of advise people that if you have something else you're debating doing, you might want to go there. Because if you have a plan B that would almost be, you'd be as happy doing, this is a very, very hard business to make a living at. But it's a very easy business to make your own art with. And so it depends on how far you want to take it if you need to do it for a living. If you do want to do it for a living, yeah, I mean, the advice is real world advice. Like, you probably want to move to Los Angeles. You probably want to write as much as humanly possible and read as many screenplays as humanly possible if you're a writer. And same goes if you're a filmmaker, you want to make movies and read about making movies and study it. And not necessarily even taking classes for it, although you can, but as much as doing what it sounds like you guys do at your thing, is talking about film. Reading screenplays is very important for writers because, like, you take a movie you like and then look at the screenplay, you might go, oh, that's how it read on the page? I didn't see it reading it, and vice versa. Read a screenplay and then go watch the movie. And it's the only way is just by studying it and learning it.